This conflict of interest. You only here to make money, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no crime.
Wait a minute.
Ain't no
I'm
victim
not
or
your
no
man.
loss, bro.
I'm not your, listen, I'm not your man.
Look, sir.
Your bro.
Hey, sir, respectfully, you're an Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause. You've been on the bench since what, 21? Couple years? You need to talk to somebody.
I'm not your bro, I'm not your man, and I'm not to be interrupted when I'm speaking. I gave you the respect and the right to speak. Just because you're unsatisfied with the way that I ruled, then that's not my problem.
All right, everyone. Today we're looking at a dramatic courtroom moment between Judge Perkins and a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen. The defendant claimed he missed his court appearance because he couldn't get into the Zoom session, a reason. The judge clearly wasn't buying. Judge Perkins quickly rejected his request, which led to a major outburst from the defendant. Skipping a court date is serious, and the defendant's arrogant behavior only made things worse. Share your thoughts in the comments. This one's worth talking about. Let's take a closer look at how Judge Perkins firmly handled the situation.
Excuse me, sir. I heard you say that you only read the first couple lines. Is there any way we could possibly take another case until you get the chance to read the entire thing? It's only 2 pages.
I'm not going to read this entire thing today.
It's only like 3 paragraphs, the entire thing. The rest are just case sightings.
All right, I'm gonna deny the motion. I will set the matter for.
Is there any way to get a written? Can I get a written articulation as to why you're denying the motion?
I'm denying the motion because
I would just appreciate a written excuse. Can I get a written articulation?
I might give it to you in writing.
Are we on record? Are we on record?
We're on record.
Okay. Is this court bound by the U.S. Constitution and Supreme Court rulings?
Yes.
Okay. You were denying my motion when I said that I had Fourth Amendment violations, and you're saying that you're denying my motion without looking into it or granting me a hearing to go over my motion, or give me an articulation as to why, a written excuse as to why. I want to make sure that that's what you're saying to me.
You're asking for a change of venue. I'm denying.
I'm saying that I know there's a motion for dismissal, and I'm saying that you, as an Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause, if you're not going to uphold my due process and my Fourth Amendment, I'm saying that maybe we could change venues where I could get a real judge.
Okay, I'm denying a motion to dismiss. Okay, I'll set a trial date for you so you can be heard on that type of forum.
I insist that the court give me a written excuse as to why you're denying my motion, so I could take that to the tenor. Okay.
Well, you can insist all you want to.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I'm telling you, you're telling me today why you're not going to look into it or give me a hearing. That's so I can go over the evidence that I have to present to go with my motion. You don't want to do any of that, so I'm just asking that you can give me a written excuse that I could go take and complain against you on, because that's violating my due process. You didn't even give me the chance to say we're going to schedule a evidentiary hearing or something like that. You're going to sit up here and disregard that when I made genuine claims and put genuine evidence in there. Overwhelmed.
Honestly can't tell if this man is genuinely confused or just pretending not to understand what's going on. What do you think? Especially after hearing his comments about the motion and wanting a different judge. For the record, a judge isn't required to provide a written explanation for denying a motion, especially when the request has no legal ground whatsoever. What's surprising is how upset he got after Judge Perkins turned him down. And his response, just ask for a new judge. It's clear this man isn't used to being held accountable. These self-declared sovereign citizens seem to be getting bolder with their behavior, and more common too. I don't get it. Every time they show up in court, things go badly for them. They almost always end up paying more than they would have if they just followed the law from the start. Let's get back into the courtroom and see how it unfolds.
So at the end of the day, like I said, there's no crime. This is a fraudulent charge. There's no suspect. Y'all suspect me for no crime. There's no victim, no losses. Okay. And in a minute, it's going to be malicious prosecution. So I'm asking you to dismiss this charge or change the venue. And if you refuse to do that, I'm asking you for a written excuse so I can take it to the tenor, sir. That's what I'm telling you. Because if not, I'm going to go to the tenor without it and let them know that you refuse to give me a written excuse, and you refuse to give me an evidentiary hearing, but you just straight denied it. When you just 5 minutes ago, you said you didn't even read it. Now you just denied it. That's conflict of interest. That's bias. That's all that. So let's put it all on record. If you feel just as strongly as you feel, give me a written excuse. If not, let's change venue. Because you're Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause. This conflict of interest, you only here to make money, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no crime.
Wait a minute.
Ain't no
I'm
victim
not
or
your
no
man.
loss, bro.
I'm not your, listen, I'm not your man.
Look, sir.
Hey,
sir, respectfully, you're an Article 1 judge under the Commerce Clause. You've been on the bench since what, 21? Couple years? You need to talk to somebody. I'm asking you to give me an evidentiary hearing to go over my motion for dismissal with the overwhelming evidence or change venue. Because if not, I'm going straight to the tender right after this. And that's on you, sir. You had this. You did this.
Oh, all right. Now I'll let you speak.
Straight like that.
No, that's all we need. I don't want to hear any more.
All right, cool. It's cool. I appreciate it. This due process violation. This is a due process violation right now. And the way y'all tried to railroad me when I was ready to argue my trial. I told you I was here to argue my trial. Y'all locked me out. Now you're trying to start the process over. They're not prepared to present a case. I'm telling you. They're not prepared to present an injured party. So what we doing?
Listen. Please do not say any more. You've already made your record. I've given you that opportunity. If you continue on, especially interrupting me while I'm talking, because I didn't interrupt you while you were talking. I'm not your bro, I'm not your man, and I'm not to be interrupted when I'm speaking. I gave you the respect and the right to speak. Just because you're unsatisfied with the way that I ruled, then that's not my problem. You take whatever. Wait a minute. Let me say it. You take whatever recourse that you feel that is necessary. Now, what I can do, Mr. Lewis, is I can set you a jury trial date. And at that jury trial date, you will have an opportunity to represent yourself or do whatever you want to do and put all your proofs on the record by a jury of your peers, and you can argue it that way, okay?
Honestly, this man should probably be held in contempt. It's surprising how patient Judge Perkins is being. If I were in his place, I might have already brought the gavel down. These Zoom court hearings really are something else. Some defendants seem to gain a false sense of confidence when they're behind a screen. Once they start ranting, it's hard to stop them. And unlike in-person court, there's no quick way to regain control. No bailiff to step in, no way to calm things down quickly. It just creates a difficult environment. I have to ask, why are we still doing this in 2024? It feels like Zoom court takes away from the seriousness of the proceedings. I doubt many of these so-called sovereign citizens would act like this in a physical courtroom. Let me know your thoughts. Should we still be using Zoom for court? Now, let's get back into the hearing.
I appreciate that, but I was still like a written.
You order the transcript. It's in the transcript.
I can't even get the court reporter to respond to my voice messages or you to respond to my emails, sir.
The court is not going to respond to your voice message. The court reporter is going to respond to you coming down.
36th District told me to call her today, that I was locked out of my trial date. I had a scheduled trial. The court told me to call her that day, and I called her that day, and she still hasn't responded. So I'm trying to see if the court that you work for is trying to tell me how the appropriate channels, and then y'all doing it different in y'all court. What am I to do?
I think you're talking about the court clerk and not the court reporter. This is a distinct.
Yeah, I was told to call the clerk the day that I was locked out. The moment I was locked out.
We've moved past that getting locked out.
But that was my trial date.
Yeah, so I'm giving you
another. How soon can I get another trial date, sir? How soon can I get another trial date? That's what I'm asking.
That's what we're trying to do now. A jury trial. A jury trial. I'm gonna let the jury of his peers hear what he has to say. July 23rd. 2024 at 9 a.m.
July 23rd?
2024 at 9 a.m. We'll have a final pretrial the day before.
Why would we need a final pretrial? Why would we need a final pretrial?
Because I said I wanted one.
But that's how you protecting your interest. You protecting your interest and you're going to dismiss it on that day. So you're trying to play with me. You could dismiss it today. You literally violate my due process. You can't even give me a written excuse, but you're going to all this whole.
Mr. Lewis, I know you don't want counsel, but Is it
He
possible
needs
we
it
could talk in a
bad.
breakout?
He doesn't have
Hey,
a clue
excuse me,
what he's
ma'am. I
talking
do.
about.
Excuse me, ma'am. I am in pro se.
Go to
I'm in pro
judicial
se.
tenure. Go wherever you want to. Final pretrial of
I
July
am. It's all good.
22nd, and
I am.
trial date is going to be July 23rd. All the parties must appear on the final pretrial date, and the jury, and that can be on Zoom. And the next day, the jury trial date is in person. Have a very good day, Mr. Green. Best of luck to you.
That's not my name.
This upcoming jury trial is shaping up to be a real challenge for the sovereign citizen involved. I'm honestly curious to see how it all turns out. If you're interested in a follow-up, let me know in the comments. If enough of you want it, I'll definitely post an update in the next few days. As for today's hearing, I'd love to hear what you thought. From my perspective, it almost seemed like a small win for the defendant. He talked back to the judge pretty aggressively, and surprisingly, there were no real consequences. It's strange how, in these Zoom court hearings, some people feel like they can say whatever they want without facing the usual discipline. It just doesn't carry the same weight or level of respect as an in-person courtroom. Personally, I think the judge could have held him in contempt, but clearly Judge Perkins had a different approach. That wraps up this session. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.